Hello again. This is Loose Lips. I'm Ben Random, and this is our second chat today. This is overall the seventh feature installment of Loose Lips. So if you're new to Loose Lips, let me tell you what it's about. I speak with people from a wide range of society, different walks of life, and I get them to tell their stories, to look to share a lot of optimism and lift the spirits during this time. So this is our second featured chat. The chat before was from Marco Huzak, who is the co-founder of Bundabus and Head On Show. So check that when you get opportunity. But right now we're going to be speaking with Rob Chadwick. Thank you for everyone who's come through to the group. I'll join us now.
Yes, mate.
Here he is. How you doing,
Hey, mate.
brother?
Yeah, mate. You're not drinking to my hair today.
Do you know what? I was just saying
Mate, look,
to
just washed it.
Marco in the chat before. It feels like we've got to do a hair reveal. So this is that. Look at what's
But
going on
go
here.
on.
It's the
Yeah.
bit at the sides that's proper burning me.
What, me?
No, me.
All right, yeah.
Saying that though, yeah, I could get my Liam bits.
Mate, go for it, man.
Model it on that pic there.
Well, Mez has done a new do. Do you know what I mean? Look at the back. He's like shaved it a bit. Do you like you get? But I've not had my hair shaved in about 2 years, I don't think. So, yeah. So it's a bit of a weird one for me. Do you know what I mean? It's but I think I'm going to go proper short next time. So I think it's had its day, mate. Do you know what? I'm gonna openly admit that I'm starting to lose my hair. Do you know what I mean? I've just got to realise it. Do you know, it's thinning out right on top. So
So
yeah, I
surely
think
you want to keep more of it while you've got it.
nah, mate. I think I look all right with a skinhead, you know. So I'm just gonna go for it.
You're gonna get a skinhead, right?
Yeah,
Everybody who's in the group, because I'm sure
I'll do it.
there's
I'll
going
do
to
it
be
for charity.
questions and
I'll do it for
comments
charity.
firing off. Do we think that you should get a skinhead? Do it for charity.
Yeah, I'll do it for
Do a
charity.
sponsored shave.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll definitely do it. Look, I've got a spot on all that's literally just come today, so you can either talk to him or talk to me if I get bored. You know what I mean?
This is probably longest you've been home for a bit of a stint, isn't it?
I was just thinking about this before, actually. It gets to this point now where I'm getting dead busy, but obviously I'm kind of selfishly enjoying this time. Do you know what I mean? To just reflect and rebuild and, like just change up the companies a little bit with Jukebox. Obviously had to adapt. So I've been working really heavily with Alex, which has been tough, but we've got there now, which is good. So it's just like life's on pause, isn't it? So while you've got this time, you just want to change things up. Obviously what we've been doing, which I'm sure we'll come on to, interviews, the labels obviously had to change. All the documentaries have had to like be put on hold, and so everything's just kind of like the last few weeks have just literally been changing everything up. Do you know what I mean? So it's been good though. It's been challenging, but I've kind of enjoyed it. There's a lot. I've been thinking that a lot of people have been hit by it, and I've kind of come out of it quite lucky, it is quite lucky in this industry because obviously all the festivals have postponed.
I was gonna say, do you
So,
want to sort of tell everybody what you do with all your various outlets, and then we'll pick off with Jukebox.
yeah, if I can remember them all. So Jukebox is obviously is my main sort of focus. It's kind of my baby. It's obviously Alex's name, but I've been heavily involved in it for like 8 years now. Well, nearly 9. I was in there from pretty much the start. There was just 3 of us, and now there's 15 of us. So I'm now a director, which is where I work with Alex. I manage all the festivals and the staff and things like that. And there's no sort of hierarchy in the company really. Obviously, Alex has the final say, if you like, but we all just one big family and team, and I think that's why we've got to where we are really, because we can all have our say and get forward and bring it all forward to the table, which is good. And it's been challenging, like I said, for the past sort of 3-4 weeks, but I've really enjoyed that challenge personally. It's been stressful, but I love kind of taking myself out of the comfort zone with it all. But yeah, the festivals are now on hold, which is obviously, it's safety first. Do you know what I mean? Obviously. Yeah, no, it's now we're kind of a PR company that works in total different remits anyway. We've got like tech companies, we work with bars, we work on pop-up events and things like that. And, so that's kind of been our sort of, what we've been looking
Focus.
at. Focus, yeah. Rebuilding festivals for 2021 already. We've got a lot of things happening overseas, Australia way, and Middle East. So that'll start to come back towards the start of the next year. Fingers crossed, touch wood, obviously. And obviously, like I said, safety first. If it doesn't happen, then safety is obviously the main focus. So yeah, that starts to happen. And then the label with Brett, I started off with labels kind of when I first moved to Leeds, really. started with Darius Syrossian, who I really owe a lot to, really. And Darius is obviously, a lot of people know him, that he's gone on to become really big in the DJ world. So I started working with him. He kind of gave me a little bit of apprenticeship. We had some really big names on it. We worked with Sasha, and we worked with Paul Wolford, who obviously he's massive in his own right. A few other people that have kind of gone off the boil, but big at the time, like Pierre Bucci and Julian Chaptal, who are all quite big. And that kind of filtered out because obviously Darius got really big in his own right. He went off to work with Steve Lawler, and I kind of wanted to take it in a different direction. So when Brett came along and Johnny Cade, who obviously is now the drummer of Maribou State, we decided to do something different, really, more techno ambient. And you're going to ask me why it's called Catch, and for the reason I have no idea. I still don't know.
I weren't going to ask you, but
no, I absolutely have no idea. Honestly, I don't. We just came to it in Barcelona. We were on a bit of a sesh, as you do, and it was 2 days in, I think. And me, Johnny, and Brett just had this idea of calling it Catch, and then we rolled with it. Again, Johnny had to leave because again he had, massive things coming in Maribou. But he still kind of keeps in touch with us all, which is great. Tom Nolan's been involved as well, who helps with the A&R. And then, we've done events all over now, really. We've got, again, it's kind of been on pause. Releases are still going. But the events are now on hold, obviously, till, again, back end of the year. But we've got some stuff in Amsterdam. Obviously, we do the residencies in London, here in Leeds, Barca as well. We've got a few things bubbling over in America. So, yeah, it's good. It's busy, but it's, again, it's had to be slightly on hold.
Have you got a regular in Gibraltar as well?
Yeah. Gibraltar's more of a festival sort of thing. It's an outdoor, it's like, I say a festival night. Festival's overused now, isn't it? But it's an big outdoor event. It's maybe not a festival, but it's more than an event. It's in between. Do you know what I mean? So, but that's good. And we've worked with Kabir, who used to live below me when I lived with Ross Miller. People won't know who Ross is, but, on Broomfield, where pretty much everybody lived at one point, didn't they? And it was just we met him there. He was going back to Jib, and he started the events there, and it was good, man. It's been really effective. It's built up over the years. They didn't really know what techno was there, but the day part is more of a house thing. And then we kind of, when we go back in October, we do like the techno side of it, which is good as well. And we have a good mashup with them. Like they just look after you like we're full on artists, which is always nice. Journalism as well. So it's kind of again, due to the current climate, taking a bit of a, kind of stopped a little bit. But I still work with some major magazines, work with Clash, and I've done some stuff for Mixed Mag, Metro, Evening Standard, Variety, some big names now. And then some more electronic sites like RA and stuff like that back in the day. So, yeah, that's good. I've interviewed Kasabian, obviously, with you. Or you did most of it, but I was there, obviously. I weighed in. And then Cribs. Andrew Weatherall, obviously legend, Richie Orton, Sven. Yeah, I've done pretty much all of them. There's a few on the list that I've not done. There's been talks of Villalobos here and there, which would be obviously one of my, that'd be amazing for me. But it's kind of in the works, and it kind of stopping because he's a bit recluse and he's quite quiet with it all. But we'll get there with it. Jeff Mills is another I've not done, but I'd love to do that as well.
Are you sort of in the position with that where in this lockdown you feel like, I'd have thought that'd have been an area where you'd have been able to step up because there's more time to ring around or
everybody's really busy with it. Do you know what? Everybody's really busy with it, mate, because like they're all doing their own thing. I think they're all now because there's this lockdown, they're all focusing on their own projects. So as soon as this lockdown eases, I'm not saying it'll go away for a long time, especially with the event side of it. I think it's going to take a long time. Probably will be next year, late December, early next year. I think pubs and clubs will start to open, but it'll be very much contained. It won't be 1,000 capacity clubs. I think the likes of Fabric and the Mint Warehouse and all these, 1,000+ clubs, I think they already know that it will take a little bit more time for them to open. And I think the smaller clubs, maybe like your districts or your smaller Lion and Lambs in London, I think they might reopen a lot sooner, which is, again, it all comes down to safety first, and the clubs will know that. Do you know what I mean? They're not stupid. So the artists, while that's happening, and the bigger artists will want to pay bigger clubs, bigger fees, obviously. Will be working on their own projects up until then, I think. And I think they've already been told that by agents and management that this is what's going to happen. They're not stupid, these managers, especially when you look after artists of that caliber. So I think it's already going that. You see that I've just been looking on NME before, and all the tours that are now completely rescheduled for next year. Just Foo Fighters, LG,
Falls.
And it is what it is, mate. They'll all know, and obviously, they'll want
their
projects come off in the best limelight, if they start announcing now for this year, you know, the press is just going to be on them. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't they? Do you know what I mean? It's what it is. So, and then that's it really. Documentaries, obviously, we've started on those. I'm going back to film school. I started and it kind of stopped again, current climate. So that'll start back in July.
Yeah, so go on, share that.
So there's two. I'm into New York Film Academy, which is
and
that's going to be a screenplay course. I don't know anything about it really yet, apart from being accepted, and I'm not sure what I'm going to be working on yet, because there's like the new curriculum's coming into place. But the cinematography one is in London. It's supposed to start. I was supposed to start on all the physical work and you know, working with the camera. Like, well, it's supposed to start in January, but then the lit came out, and then it was supposed to start at the end of this month, and then obviously it's now been rescheduled to July. So I'm just been doing all my research myself. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
So where's your base going to be? Are you going to be living out in New York for a bit?
Well, I'm in New York 5 times a year. So what I will do is it's an online course, and what I'll do is when I want to go into like the studios that they have, I'll literally just plan it around the festivals that I've got over there, because I've got like clients over there anyway. I'll just plan it around those festivals really, and go from there. I can go in at any time really. It's kind of an open book. It's not like a set course where you just have days where you're in.
But it's not like a curriculum or a set.
Yeah, there is a curriculum, but there's not and like a syllabus, but there's not like set days you can do it. Do you know what I mean? As long as you put the hours in each week and you time.
Not like a set semester.
Yeah, you log those hours that you do. It's quite open. I had to be like that because with my job really. Yeah, you just never know where I am. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I can be in Leeds 3 days a week, London 4. Flip that, and then obviously I got my parents as well that I need to obviously oversee these days, because you know they're not as bright as the feet as used to be. So you know, I've got a lot going on. But
how do you balance it all?
I don't. Do you know what I mean? I don't really. I just wing it each week, man. You know what it's like for me. You know, sometimes I have to let people down, like yourself, or when we've got meetings scheduled, because it's just I can just have to be on the ball for these clients really, and it is the way it is. You just kind of get used to it all. Do you know what I mean? I really enjoy the fact that my days are different every day. I don't like the fact that I couldn't be in an office with a shirt and tie on that central line in London like some of the lads and the girls are. You know, they love it, don't get me wrong, and it's for them. But I couldn't get up at 6:30 in the morning. Sometimes I do when I want to get on it, when I want to get work done and get on it. But I don't want to be getting up at 6:30 just to get on a shirt and tie, get on that central line. Or, do you know what I mean? No way, man. It's bad enough as it is London without doing all that. So yeah, no, not for me, mate. Not for me. But you know, it's I enjoy it though, mate. I enjoy. I just love the fact that I'm just testing myself every day. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
I was gonna say that. It seems like you're wanting to always push yourself.
Yeah, mate, like, why wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? We're not here for a long time. And, you know, last year was just a killer, man, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? Want of a better word, you know, that's probably the worst terminology, but it was just, I just wanted to learn from the lads that, you know, I feel as though they sacrificed a lot for us. So me and my mates could go away and learn. Do you know what I mean? I think that was a real pushing point for me to just turn the screw even more in my career. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was a year where we just wanted to move on from it and learn ourselves. And I think all my friendship group have, you know, yourself. I see the likes of Donny as well, who's you know, kicked on and said he didn't want to, you know, keep going out all the time, and you know, he's now refreshed himself, and I want to do the same. So it was just a big turning point for me. You know what I mean? And God rest their souls. You know what I mean? It's miss them every day. You know, Jody Lee and you know, and Nath. So yeah, you know, it was what it is really. So yeah, I thought this year, even though it's not started off well, I know that we can work on it. Do you know what I mean? And that's what's given me this time to sort of reflect and move forward with it all. I think it's just the only way I could ever look really. I just always wanted to just take myself out of the comfort zone with inner city and all the talks that we've done and stuff in New York, and just roll with it. And if it doesn't come off, I've failed loads of times, and that's the one thing I like as well. I can't be afraid to fail. Do you know what I mean? Because if you'll fail and you'll kick on the next time, it is what it is.
So talk us through when you first came to Leeds, because I know you had a real mad passion for when you were involved with the O2.
Well, the O2 is the pinnacle of why I'm even remotely successful. And I don't class myself to be successful at all, but to be able to get to where I've got is because of the O2 case closed. So you're meeting tour reps, Steve Ireland, who's been in the field for 40 years. He was at very first Glastonbury. You know, knowledge like that you don't get. He's actually one of the heads of AMG now. he looks after all the venues in the country, and I still speak to him to this day. He's my go-to guy. Do you know what I mean? He's like he's like the most successful person in my side of the work.
A solid mentor.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, people like Foz, who came on to do Pet Sounds with, and obviously Dirty Disco. Even Stu, obviously, who I knew before that. Denny and all the tour reps. I mean, even meeting the bands and the band managers like Kasabian, and going out with Jamie T and Primal Scream and all these people that meeting like what's the magician called? I can't remember his name now. From Dynamo. Ian Brown, who had his family working for him, selling tickets outside. Do you know what I mean? Just a family operated thing, and he was just out there. His family just knocking off tickets for people. I'm like, this is mint. Do you know what I mean? And you see him down Call Lane, just getting steamboated. It was good, man. In a portal back in the day, and you end up chilling out with him, and all those things. I just class as the best time of my life. Do you know what I mean? I just so enjoyed it. I enjoyed just sponging all this information that I would never have got. Learning how to manage a big show, ticketing, promotion, marketing, all just came into one. Do you know what I mean? Because they're all an in-house team. They often sometimes get market outside the company, but not always. It's usually an in-house thing, which is perfect because I just learned so much. But it was good. Yeah, it was good. And then that was it. I sadly had to leave because there was some other companies coming and took over Pet Sounds, which we didn't want. We hated it actually. Propaganda, who were good. Don't get wrong, but Pet Sounds is our baby. They had one in Sheffield, but they all had one in Leeds. There were only two venues to do it at that time. So Pet Sounds was our baby, but then the high ups, or the people in the head office in Brixton, just decided it wasn't going to go anymore, even though we were selling out loads all the time, and we had people in there. We had Block Party in there and a few others, and so I mean, it was a sad time really. I had to leave, and I regrouped and went to Birmingham for a bit after that. Worked to manage a venue in there called the Vaults. It was good. Wasn't quite the same as your two, but it was good. But then I learned how to manage a venue on my own, and then came back, and then that's where Jukebox took off really. Alex gave me an opportunity, gave me the ball, and I just kind of run with it a little bit really. Took over from Chris Halliday, who was an eye-watering experience, to say the least, but in a good way. And he taught me everything really within a week, and then he went on, and then he went to the Egg, I think, in London.
Yeah.
And then that's it. From there, it's just snowballed really.
Do you think it's mad, the circle that we grew up with in the sort of going out stage of our lives are now pretty much key figures in a lot of influential venues or festivals up and down the country?
Sorry, you broke up a slight there, Ben.
Do you think it's mad how influential the people that we came up with in the scene are now like key figures in a lot of these venues across the country?
Yeah, I mean, it's. Well, I knew it was going to happen. I kind of knew you can always tell who's quality and who's a chancer. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, people like Foz. Foz is the best promoter in the country. Fact. Do you know what I mean? The thing is, like, he's mint on social media now, right? But before that came into play, he was just selling out shows before social media was in. Mark Newton's another one as well. He's mint as well. So like in a different way, like obviously Foz is on he works on a 1,000, 1,200 capacity and does the festivals. Obviously Mark's obviously kingpin, isn't he? But those two I think are absolutely just on another level. Do you know what I mean? And I just think all the people that I know of, like that Chris Halliday's a great one. Matt Long's another. All in different ways though, do you know what I mean? Like they all promote totally differently, but they've all gone on to be really successful. Long he's not doing as much on the musical side now. Obviously he's involved in venues and stuff, but he's more on the food side, and he's smashing it in that department, do you know what I mean? And got really big contracts with BBC and things like that, which is just brilliant really. But again, he had a similar sort of run into me because he kind of was mentored by Steve Alley and obviously gone on that direction, do you know what I mean? So everybody's had somebody to look up to and work towards, and that's quite one thing about Leeds. I couldn't have done that in London, and I certainly couldn't have done it in the current climate of having social media around, because the people can get into the music industry now quite well, not as easy, but there's more sort of room to try and get into the music industry, and then it sort of kind of tailors into this top of the triangle where there's still as many jobs as there were back 10 years ago, but the access is easier because you can do it at uni now. You can learn to DJ at school. Do you know what I mean? All these kind of factors have come in now. Where I had to go onto Parkinson steps for 3 hours in the piss rain, or 5 hours in the piss rain, coming in sideways to trying to get to know people. Do you know what I mean? And that's the way I did it, really. Luckily, Facebook was just coming in then, and I posted that Green Velvet event that Dirty Disco had. And Stu came up to me. He messaged me on Facebook saying, "Mate, you got my flyer on your wall, on your Facebook wall." I was like, "Oh, sorry, mate." Like, no, it's fine. If you're really into it, why don't you come work for me? And then they started in the guest list when, you used to write the guest list out.
Yeah.
Get like quit a name if they came in. So I was doing that at first, as well as flying. And then he kind of, he said, "Listen, mate, you get really good. You're doing the door. You get to meet people. You're talkative. Come and work on the festivals for me," because they were doing festivals of Gatecrashing back then, Summer Sound System.
Yeah, that was it.
So
that's still one of my favourite festivals of all time, that.
The one in Leeds was brilliant, I think it was the 2007. Do you know what it was, mate? It was the day. I think it was on the day after that Daft Punk show. Do you know when Daft Punk was in Leeds?
Yeah.
I went to that. I got a ticket. I got a ticket last minute from a guy from the bouncer outside of the bar in Chapelton. He's like, "Mate, I've got these tickets to Daft Punk. I can't go." I didn't even know the guy. I was like, "Yeah, it's LCD Sound System," and then Daft Punk. You couldn't even make that up, could you? Now,
still sick. That was the week before first Glastonbury as well.
Yeah, well, that's another story as well, because that Glastonbury. Well, I'll go into that in a second, but so that was that, and then I'm pretty sure because that was on a Saturday, and then if I remember something correctly, Summer Sound System was on a Sunday. So
Daft Punk was on Sunday. Daft Punk was on Sunday.
So maybe Summer Sound System was like a week later then. Anyway, they were definitely right close, and that like the Daft Punk show and then the Gatecrash Sound System show, they kind of like came into my head. Shall I do this for a living? Shall I get into it? Because I was always an hospitality man. I was brought up in pubs. I was working on these hospitality shows. So I was like, I'm really enjoying this. And she's giving me a little bit of a platform and you kick the door up a little bit. And then it was just Glastonbury after that tipped it over, really. I was just like, it was just, I've got to try and give it a go. Even if it doesn't work out, I'll give it a try. I've had a try, do you know what I mean? And certainly back then, not envisaging that it would ever work out to anything and I could sustain a living. But Glastonbury's just been obviously a godsend. Every time you go to Glastonbury, it's different, and it just inspires me even more. It's like that kind of break in your year where you think, all right, let me change this up. You got a Glastonbury, it just inspires you. You usually come back from a festival and you're like knackered and you just want a week off. But Glastonbury's like, you just want to get up the next day when you come back and start writing shit. And I'm totally like that. It's like a breath of fresh air in it. Burning Man's another one, but I went to Burning Man and I didn't respect it at all. Do you know what I mean? I do respect it now. When I go back, I want to do things right. People went, you go to Glasgow, you go to Burning Man, you go, did you find yourself? I was like, mate, I didn't even find my fucking bike half the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You either lose it because you're wazzocked, or you lose it because the fucking art cars are moving, but you don't realise the art cars are moving, do you? So you go looking for your bike, and then Brett's tied his bike up to yours. You can't find Brett, so you're having to walk back in the sand with two pissing bikes. Sorry for swearing, by the way, if anybody's listening.
So good, get involved. But switching it back to Glasgow before we go fully into Burning Man then, would you like to cover off the different ways that you've reviewed Glastonbury? Because you have a slightly different experience to everybody else. So
I pitch it to a magazine or a paper. Some say yes, some say no. I have been rejected before. It's not an easy process. There's always a certain amount of press tickets. So I've done a straight review, a stand-up review before it's been in print and online, and then I've done ways where I just wanted to change it up. So I've been like worked behind a bar, worked backstage, worked on a stall, and just get different experiences from people that can't actually see the festival. Do you know what I mean? They don't get a chance to see the festival because the people work on rotation or on a rota, so they can't always get to see the festival. They get to see it for 3-4 hours a day, sometimes not at the right times. You can miss all the headline bands, and I was just like, that'd be torture, wouldn't it, really? You all these people having fun around you. So I just wanted to get that experience as well, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's not always about the bands. People that have never been go, wow, all these bands are on, but there's so much more to it, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? You can't even get around it all. You know what I mean? And I like coming back though, and people have a different experience. Even when you go back to your tent and go, "What did you do?" and you're like, "Mate, it's the best times like we have." Well, let's talk about it for the next 6 hours and not go to bed.
Yeah, exactly. And then hear some music trickling away, and then try. And then
that's it. The music starts at 11 o'clock. It's like, fuck, I've not been to bed yet. So you go, right, come on, then let's just go on it. But that's the beauty of it. You don't really think until you're getting tired. So,
but also when you are doing those like different roles, I remember that year, and you actually work the shift. It's not like you're just dipping in. You work a full 8 hour bar shift, and you are getting fully indulged.
I worked an 8 hour bar shift, was right in the mix as well. So it was right in between the pyramid and other stage. So it's like
Yeah.
on that cusp of where it's really busy. You know what I mean? Just behind the main stage of a stage, and then
What was
the
that like?
stall. Hectic. You've been. It was Luke's bar. Do you know the
Yeah,
one?
but what were it like to work?
Yeah, busy, yeah. But it wasn't too bad because all the drinks were set. So all the drinks were pre-made kind of thing. And you just add the topper in, you know, so it was like cocktails and whiskey and stuff. So there's a kind of a good rotation, do you know what I mean? People were making the cocktails, you just serve them, take the money. So, but it was good, man. And it was nice to see how the other sides live, really, if you like. And you get to go on the campsite early. You get to go in 2 days early, which is a godsend, not queuing. You could even stay a day later if you want and do the after party, which I didn't. But you can stay a day later and de-rig if you like, and that's quite a good experience. I mean, going in early was weird though, because there's literally about 300 people on site. It's like a ghost
And
town.
it's not all fully open yet, is it? It's still all gridlocked
there's
off.
there's a few bars open, you know, to have a few drinks after you set up and stuff. So this thing's open, and there's a couple of little bands on that have got there early, like amateur bands and that, which is good. But it's very, very peculiar. It's you know, it's quite once you wake up on a Wednesday morning though, and you're, you know what I mean, set up, lights are on. It's like, oh, mate, I couldn't be arsed coming in then. But it's yeah, I can't wait for next year. It's a shame it's not on this year, but you know what I mean. You got to do what you got to do. You know, I was really looking forward to this year. I thought they'd really upped it on the lineup. I was looking forward to the lineup actually. I thought it was really well worked out. And then when they've got to add all the dance acts in as well, I think this year would have been one of the best ones yet. Shame they didn't go down the heritage route a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Being 50 years. You know,
Well, they might have done behind the scenes, but does next year become their 50th year? And also, is this now classed as a fallow year so that it's an extension of another 5 or 4 or whatever the run is? What do you reckon?
I think it will be classed as the 50th year. I think they've had a lot riding on it this year. Do you know what I mean? I think they'll have done a lot to make it extra special. God knows what the ticket ratio would have been in terms of age groups, because maybe a lot of the older generation, you know, would have really enjoyed going back for one-off. Do you know what I mean? So maybe they might, you know what I mean, when they work out, you know, so they might have accommodated them a little bit more. But I think it will be the 50th year, and I think, like I said, I think it probably will be used as a year to just, you know what I mean, mellow the grass out a little bit and do what they need to do. But even right down to people designing the bins and stuff, they redesign the bins every year. So it's just so well worked out, isn't it? And it's a shame for those.
It's a mad operation.
Because they'll well started it, wouldn't they? They'll have started, you know, getting everything together probably January, really, I reckon. So yeah, it's a shame really, right up to the bookers. But yeah, they'll be fine, won't they? It's the smaller festivals that I feel for, you know what I mean, that might not be able to last another year, really. You just never know.
Yeah, really. Speaking with Ralph, and what he mentioned is, and it's sort of obvious when he said it, but you don't really focus on it, and it's that the festivals put such a massive outlay, and obviously they recoup by what's been spent at the festival. It makes sense when he says it, but you wouldn't really think of that. So a lot of people's wages, they're based, so they could be working months on just like making ends meet. The big bonus payoff is the festival, and now they've missed that allure, that bonus.
Yeah, well, I mean, in a city itself was literally the last festival to make it, wasn't it?
Yeah,
or event to make it. So, you know, and that's been amazing for Leeds, I must admit. I'm sure you could come on to that, but yeah, it is what it is, mate. You know, people sacrifice the whole sort of life for 6 months to sweat and stress. We're the lucky ones that obviously do a side of it, which probably does go unnoticed a little bit in the PR world, but a side of it where it's not as affected. So we're lucky. But yeah,
but with your clients, how are your clients? How are your clients sort of adapting and responding to it? Because essentially, you know, the festival ones,
it's as positive as they possibly can, mate. But you know, we've just got to respect the fact that, you know, this is their livelihood, and it is our livelihood too. Don't get it wrong, but we've just got to help them as much as we can, give as much advice as we possibly can, and then they'll go away and chat with their team, and then we'll come back and make a plan of how we move forward. A lot of the festivals we work with, I reckon probably 80% of them will return, and sadly probably 20% of them, you know, might sadly have to fold, which is sad. But you know, we've been working with a lot of big festivals recently that, you know, have been going for years and will probably survive it. But yeah, there's a couple that might not. But so, you know, it's such a sad scenario really. But it's nothing. We can only do our bit to help them move forward, and obviously we will, because that's what we do. I'd rather sacrifice my wage to help them. Do you know what I mean? 100%. That's coming from me, and I know Alex has been the same. You know, we do our best to make sure that our clients are as safe as possible to move forward in what they're doing. So that's why I love Jukebox so much, really. So yeah, but Inner City's been great, and like I said, they got their event out there just in time. And you know what I mean, they've just been doing great. And for Leeds, it's just been something that the city needed. Obviously, like I said, Mark Newton and Matt and all them are involved, so they've been coming in and really help boost the event. And Ralph's been great, obviously, and Ben and all the people behind it. And I think this year, you know, doing the talks like what we do, it was the best one. It was by far the best one in terms of turnout, the way we formatted it, the organisation of it as well, and the venue was just fantastic. You just felt the audience was engaged in it. Do you know what I mean? A lot more. I enjoyed the wardrobe and the one at the Belgrave. The Belgrave was great as well, but this one I thought was the best one. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't able to attend this year's, but when I was speaking with Ralph about it, anyone who's in the group who's not familiar, Inner City Electronic is an electronic-based day festival event. So it takes part at various venues across the city where there's different musical acts that are involved, but there's also workshops and also talks as well, and panel talks. And yeah, he said that one of the reasons that they wanted to move it from June to March was the fact that they wanted to incorporate a lot more with the students, and then that's why they had the access now to the College of Music. But I think it makes sense, the College of Music and that being the hub. But I thought it was brave of them to move it from June, but obviously it's paid massive significance.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Again, like I said, students, and it's not an event that relies on the weather. Do you know what I mean as well? So that was obviously a main focus. It's all indoors, so pretty much. Yeah, is it? Yeah, it's all indoors. Yeah, there's not anything outside, so it doesn't rely on the weather. The students can be involved, and it's not got any sort of rivals then as well. You know, you're not because Leeds is a small city. You know, Inner City is now known around the country, probably in Europe. It's definitely known around the country.
Well, that's the goal. They said that they wanted to have a sonar sort of feel.
Yeah, I think it's getting there. You know, I mean, listen, sonar is huge, but it's got its own sort of niche, and for the size of Leeds, from what Leeds wants to offer, it's perfect. You know, you've got the music, you've got the knowledge, the understanding, you've got the people behind it that know what they're doing. You know, and it's definitely drafting people from all over the country. I think the lineups have been fantastic. The venues are well put together. The sound systems in there are brilliant. And you're just working with people that, and you've got the right clientele coming, the right mixture. It's something for everybody, which is obviously the way the world's turning right now, which is great.
It feels polished and a high caliber though as well, doesn't it? Is this its third year? It feels like it's more established.
Yeah, I think, you know, to have the success they had in the first year and then kick on and have a great second year, and then the third year has just been phenomenal. And you know, I think ticket sales were where they want to be, and the lineups are where they want to be. The artwork's, like I said, it's polished. It's got a good all-round standpoint. I really enjoy it. It's a pleasure to work with them guys, and it's an honour to work with them, really, because, you know, you're interviewing some people that, you know, have been around the block. I mean, interviewing Weirdcore, who's obviously the next step towards Aphex Twins, pretty big. And from my standpoint, interviewing Mr. Scruff was great because he's a ledge.
Craig
Richards was a good one for me as well. And who else did it do? Obviously, if you like, you know, people like Mark and Kelly Lee Owens last year, and so, you know, in the space of 3 years, I've been involved in some really good stuff there from a personal standpoint. But more to the point, it's just been nice to work with those guys because they're top quality people. Yeah.
And then, are you doing something with clothing? I see you keep teasing something like you're doing something with clothing.
Yeah, so it's very early stages, mate. But yeah, I've been asked to. I'm massive, as you know, I'm massive into jackets. So I've been speaking to a few people, a couple of designers that I know that work for some bigger labels, and they went, just throw some ideas in the hat, mate. You know what I mean? You've got good, you know, you seem to have good fashion sense to some people. Some people think
good
I'm
jacket sense. I don't know about fashion sense,
people,
but good jacket sense.
Some people think I have shit fashion sense, but it's each their own. But yeah, so there's a couple of guys that work for some that design clothes for some bigger labels, and some stuff have done some stuff for H&M, some have done some stuff for Pretty Green and what have you. I just met them in London. One of them met at Line and Lime in London. Didn't know him. Met him in the toilet, as you do. And then I've known the guy from H&M because he's a brother of one of my mates in London. And then I just said, you know, I'll come up with some ideas of my own. I've got a few things in the pipeline, and then I'm just getting done them all now and rendering them all up on CAD on my mate Liam has, and then I'm going to send them off really and see what comes. So it's at a very early stage. It'll definitely happen for me anyway, in it, and hopefully it might kick on to other things with other people. So what is, like I say, it's early stages though. But I reckon it'll come into fruition maybe probably 18 months. I reckon, quite a while away yet. Because again, let's go back onto it. But current climate is just, you know. You don't know what's going to happen, do you, really? You just really don't know what's going to happen. So, yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that, mate. There's a lot of good things coming up that I'm really excited about. But again, with life being on pause a little bit for everybody, you just can't.
Is it pause or is it reset? This is what I'm sort of asking if it comes up. Is it pause or is it reset?
I think a bit of both. I think you can pause.
No, it has to be one or the other. You've got to be. You can't be on fence. I think it's red or blue pill time. Is it rest is it reset or is it pause?
Can I have half and half? No. Yeah, okay. We'll go with reset because I think it sounds more positive. Pause is
yes.
Pause does sound like it's a bit, you know, you just waiting for things to happen. But yeah, reset. I think you can definitely go away and just like I said, just fine tune what you've already got coming up, which I have been doing really. And I've been working. I won't say I've been working around the clock. I've been putting, you know, standard hours in, not like usual where you put in sometimes 16 hours in. I've not been doing that. I will openly admit that I've been, you know, working a steady ship.
Sometimes I feel you're a bit guilty on yourself if you don't do those hours, which is crazy because you do work hard, and I sometimes don't think you send the credit.
But I don't work hard all the time. I do work hard, but then I'll have days where I'm having like, you know, where I'll just probably put in 6-7 hours, and you feel as though you're not done enough, and then I work, and I'll probably get a little bit guilty, and then I'll do 12 hours the next day.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
but if it works for you,
but I love it. I love it. I've nothing else to say. It sounds really sad this because I've got all my friends and my family, but I've nothing else to live for, man. No, I just, you know what I mean? I'm single. I'm just enjoying it. Do you know what I mean? There's, you know, my mind is. I wake up sometimes at 4:30 in the morning with an idea and write it down so I can wake up to it the next morning and just kick on with it. I've always been like that though. I was like that at school, and certainly I like that at college. Even though I got kicked out a couple of times.
What did you do at college?
I did hospitality management. Yeah. I went to a good college as well, but I was only 18 at the time, and I took a lot of 16-year-olds to the pub, got them all twatted, and then we went to the. We went to this. So I went to the pub. We got all leathered because I was the only one that was 18, so I was buying all the drinks for everybody. Went back and we had a cooking class because it was hospitality, but you were learning how to cook as well. And do you know them steamers that you open like that, but all steam comes out, but they're really pressurized ones, so they've got like. So the guy just went up to it and he was pissed out dead, and he just wazzed it open and it just smashed this girl in the face. And I can only describe to you that she had a face like a Japanese flag. It was just white and it was pink around here. And I was like, yeah, I'm definitely getting done here. So yeah, I was 2 days and I was out of there, excluded. Yeah, because you know it is what it is. Like, but I've become a better person for it now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. No.
Do you think?
I'm enjoying it.
Do you think the time of Leeds when we're all coming through? Are you writing a book subtly? Is there some? You seem to be like gathering memoirs.
There's I've written. Oh God, have a look. Just 1 second, mate. Let me have a look how much I've written. So I've written a screen. Well, I've done all the ideas for a screenplay about the guy from KFC, the Colonel. I'm talking to somebody about that the next couple of days.
You've done what?
So look, can you see? Can you see that? Did you see that?
Just saw cricket. We just saw cricket. Oh yeah.
So that's like the idea. Sorry, cricket's on his stats. But yeah, so that's the idea and the interesting facts about the Colonel and how if you read about his story, it's fascinating. I was just really into it and how he became a nothing to somebody. And obviously he's obviously dead now, but he just made loads of money, but he did it in the right way. So that's something. And then yeah, I've done something about Leeds a lot as well. Obviously can't mention any names. They're all fake names because obviously we'd all be in jail. So yeah, it's good though, mate. Yeah. And it's a lot of it's true, but kind of how'd you put it? Been Hollywooded, if you like. It's got some sort of elaborated. That's the word. Yeah, it's good though. It's not like anything super bad, but it's funny.
I don't think things could be any more elaborated by some of the stuff that popped off.
People won't believe it's happened, mate.
Toning it down.
Yeah, no, it's not bad at all. It's generally quite funny, mate. I'm obviously not putting anybody in the ring or anything. But yeah, no, it's good, mate. Yeah, so I mean, I kind of started it, and then now I've gone on to screenplay, and I've only got one pair of hands. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, again, I mean, there's people have been offering me to self-fund a book and stuff, helping to fund it and self-fund it. Do you know what I mean? So, it's something that's on the table, and I've been putting the hours in on it. But again, there's no time limit on it. I'll give myself a few years in it because I think there's still more to offer with the story. I think there's a lot of my mates are just still really smashing it in their own world, and the people that I want to be involved in it, they're not a finished article. Do you know what I mean? In the best possible way. It's not like they've got to go out and do more to make this book good, or it's just I feel as though the story's not finished. So it could be fucking 20 years. Do you know what I mean? But I think it'd be good. Do you know what I mean? And it's funny. It's got legs. If I don't really make myself laugh often, but I was laughing at this, and it was kind of like, yeah, I think it's got somewhere to go. But like I said, it's a stop-start one. Do you know what I mean? Where I think the other things that I've been working on have just kind of taken over a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so it'd be good though. Yeah, it'd be worth a read. It's got a good few pages.
Addy keeps getting me to ask what happened at the Kappa Festival. Is this something that could be a story in itself?
Right. So, right, here we go. I went to Kappa Festival. This was when I was still coming up in Jukebox. Disclaimer is I've never been like this again at Jukebox, and I never would be. You know, I've always, you know, I like a party like the next person. In fact, I love a party like the next person. But when I'm on Jukebox hours, no. Do you know what I mean? It's just a no-go, and I've never been like this again. But I went to Kappa. I was looking after a few journalists, and you know, I had a full bottle of vodka basically, like in the baking heat. But you know, it's a free bar, so you're just pouring it. You never realise how drunk you're getting because when you're outside, it's all right when you're inside and you go outside, you can notice it, can't you? But when you're outside, when you're just outside, you just don't feel it coming on. Went up to the stage, you know. When you went up to the stage, it's like, what, 12, 15 feet? What's 15 feet? Yeah, probably about 12, 15 feet looking at it. And if you've ever seen Kappa stage, it's a long warehouse space, isn't it? It's massive. It's probably one of the most historic sort of festival stages going now. Not obviously Glastonbury Pyramid, but it's getting there in Europe, especially for the techno events. Anyway, so I'm dancing away, and I just remember falling backwards off this stage, and then I just remember my eyes just closing, and I luckily landed on this you know, it's the industrial bin.
So you dropped 15 feet?
No, I wasn't 15 feet. So this bin was like maybe, what are they like? It was quite a big bin. What are they? Them bins, you know, you have like flat bins, you know, like probably like, what is it, 5 feet off the ground? Yeah. I landed on that, but I luckily landed on a plastic bit, and it dented a little bit. Like you know, Batman landed in
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I the next thing I know, I wake up like 28 days later in the medical tent with fucking shit hanging out my arms, and I just ripped them all off. And you've never seen, I run like Mel Gibson in Gallipoli, do you know, like just pegged it like, and then I just woke up in bed. God knows I got a military in, so I don't know the city at all. Nobody speaks the lingo. Obviously, you know, you know, so I managed to get back to the apartment. The next day, I come back to the festival because it's a 2-day festival. God knows it was a 1-day festival. I'd have probably not remembered any of it. But I came back the next day and I just looked at this medical tent and I'm like, fuck me. And then I looked at the bar and I was like, what? And it's just started to come back to me. And then everybody's looking at me, but I'm sober at this point. It's not like I'm off my head. I'm like, why the fuck is everybody looking at me? These girls, scantily clad girls looking at me. I was like, what? Like, Junie comes up, it's like, you okay? It's like, yeah. Why are you? And it just started to piece it all back together for me. Safe to say, I got a bit of a warning. And yeah, I've never been like that since. You know, listen, I've had a party and I still do. I'm now, you know, I'll hold my hands up. I'm no saint. But when it comes to Jukebox, the way I came forward, it was a story that I'm quite glad I had, because I knew that I never wanted to be like that again. It was when I'm under Jukebox, under that banner, and just want to be as professional as I can be at all times. Yeah, so having a drink and that here and there, but I save my rowdiness for when I'm with my mates nowadays, you know what I mean? But it's a good story, and it's one I actually tell some of the staff that go away at festivals, like, just don't be like me. Do you know what I mean? It's that, do you know what I mean? Just don't be like me ever, and you'll get far. There's a few more stories. Like the block party story is better, but I'll let Foz. Have you got Foz coming on?
No, I haven't had Foz on. I don't know if he'd be on it. He don't like these. He don't like these sort of stuff. I've tried to interview him before, and he don't like it.
Get Foz on and tell him I'll leave this one for him. But the block party story, when we took him to Dirty Disco, it's a fucking belter. They split up 2 weeks later, you know. I'm telling you that now, mate. We took him to Dirty Disco. I'm not being funny, mate. Russell, the bassist, fell out the fucking club, mate. We had to practically drag him out, and his girlfriend's behind him going, I think they split up 2 weeks later as well. He's a nice guy. Man, that was a good one. I'll let Foz tell you that. The one about Liam Gallagher that he's got to belter as well. Like that,
the DC-10 one. Yeah, I'll try and get him on. Absolutely, that's a good shout.
Yeah, the DC-10 one, when he literally wiped the bar down, Liam Gallagher just went, yeah, I don't want one of them shit drinks, mate. Just fucking waz them all off in about 1,000 drinks tokens and just smashed them out through it. That was a good one, that. Yeah. I wasn't there, but yeah. Oh shit, drink. Yeah, so that, yeah, I mean, that happened, mate. But like I said, I mean, the serious point is that you know, I just didn't want to be like that in that environment again. You know what I mean? Like, I'll always have a laugh and a joke, and I make mistakes constantly, which is how you learn. But yeah, the Kappa thing really opened my eyes up to just not being that wazzock when you're in those sort of environments, because you are unsure and you do want the best for the company. It doesn't look good for Alex, doesn't look good for me, it doesn't look good for the company most of all. And you know, it was good at the time. And it was funny to look back on. You do have a laugh about it, but you know, Jukebox is my life, man. So yeah, I always every time somebody goes to a festival, we've got like new staff coming in or interns or whatever, I tell them that story so they can have a laugh about it, but then kind of turn it back on how serious it is to be professional at all times in that sort of environment. Luckily, they found the funny side to it though, Kappa, and we kept on working with them for years afterwards. I mean, we don't work with them anymore, sadly, but yeah, Junie found it funny and was emailing me afterwards saying, "Mad, you're crazy." But yeah, they're a wicked team, by the way, of Kappa. They're like they're a good unit, like in a city. Do you know what I mean? They're like well put together, organised, just know what they're doing. And the festivals itself is fantastic. So yeah.
So to finally wrap up, then, do you want to? Should we touch on what our collaborative effort is in Pop Cult Chic? Because this is technically a project for Pop Cult Chic, is Loose Lips. Yeah,
well, you've kind of taken control on this, and I've seen some of the things. I've bobbed in and out of the ones you've been doing in and out of work. So the Paul Foot one, and obviously I saw the lad before, and Chappers and that. So yeah, man, you smashed it, to be fair. But I've let you, obviously, you know, I know you fill me in and stuff with what you're doing here, but obviously I'll let you just have free reign with this, really. But yeah, the studio's coming on, man. I keep seeing pictures of what Roy has been, you know, the additions she put into it. So. Johnny, we've got a good team there now, haven't we? Shame, obviously we don't see each other as much now, but time will come back.
Anyone who's in the group wondering what we're on about, so me and Chadders, we have launched our own online empire. Basically, it's called Pop Cult Chic, and it's celebrating culture. So we're going to be looking at amazing moments in all areas of culture, from music, TV, film, fashion, technology, throughout all the decades, mainly spouting from 80s, 90s, noughties and current day. So we're looking to just, again, uplift people and remind people that as humanity, we've done some sick stuff and we can celebrate it. So we're looking at focus on that, and then doing it in different ways as well, with podcasts and interviews and documentaries and our own sort of sketches. And we've got a unit just outside Leeds city centre, and there's a few of us in, and it's called the Imaginarium, and we're going to be hosting like a lot of creative events from there. So like basically it's just going to be like interactive hub, but we're also going to have it as a media base as well. So there's green screen there, and yeah, man, it's cool. It's a cool project.
Yeah, I mean, we've done some really good stuff, considering we've been doing it like, what, 3 years now. Some of the stuff we've done has been good. I mean, and there's a lot more to come out again, you know. The Mint documentaries, you know, we've been involved in that. Obviously the Kasabian thing was cool, and got off to a really good start with that. Obviously I know you've done stuff with what's it called, Pigeon Detectives, it's called Matt and I've as well. So yeah, I mean, we've done some really good stuff, man. I mean, like I said, you know, we're just at this point where we can focus on it a little bit more between us. Obviously you've been able to do this in lockdown, which has been good. And obviously regroup and obviously do your writing side of it. Are you still doing the comedy as well?
Yeah, I'm still on with my stand-up. Yeah, I've got me 2 specials in the bank, ready to tour, mate. Ready to take it out onto the world.
Have you written it all, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I've got the one that I did last year, which is Good to Go Again. And then I've got a new one, which I was going to sort of subtly launch end of this year, but that's in the bank. And then I've been writing a few short form bits, which could evolve into long form. So I've got comedy for days, mate, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. But his new one's brilliant, or his newest one.
Yeah, it is.
Brilliant. Sick. Yeah. Just a quick one. Have you been watching that Last Dance? The basketball, Michael Jordan?
No, I'm waiting until they're all released, and then I'm just going to bosh them all in.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I need to watch it just with Dennis Rodman's hairstyles for inspiration.
He's not been in it as much yet. It's a bit early for him because he comes in like towards the back end of, I won't spoil it for you, but it comes in towards the back end of Jordan's career, where it's, at the moment, the episodes are early on in Jordan's career, do you know what I mean? Flashbacks here and there, but he's in it a little bit, but he's not come into it proper yet, but I'm waiting for that as well. Hopefully it'll show his NWO sort of vibes as well, where he's mixing between the two.
In me, the latest stand-up full special that I've written, there's a whole bit dedicated to Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, he was
I've done some mad research on that guy. That guy's lived a life. Now that guy needs to do a story.
I knew how mad he was when I was a kid, but you never really, because it was, you know, being what, maybe 10, 11 or whatever, you obviously don't sort of understand how mentally
wild he was.
Yeah. Now obviously you think, well, I'm just a little bit like him actually. You know what I mean? I never want to dress like him. Probably won't get away with it either. But he was mental, man. But it's a good story. That you'll really enjoy it. It's like I said, I like watching those documentaries for research of how to do these documentaries, because I think Netflix kill it. Amazon for films, Netflix for documentaries. I think that's my way of taking it. But that's why I mentioned it, because I think the way I've started to learn about documentaries more is how Netflix piece them together so well and just keep you entertained. And through, you don't just have one episode and it's great, and then you move on to the next one, it's boring. They kind of intertwine the episodes so well.
Well, the way that they did Tiger King, I know Tiger King's like jumped off and it's become a phenom, but a lot of that is how they brought in, teased the next episode, and it just kept evolving and getting more elaborate. But the way that they definitely sync it together, great storytelling, good examples to base it on.
Americans are just, I love America, but fucking hell, mate, some of the stuff they get up to is just, it's like, is this actually real? You have to go away and just actually read about it, don't you?
Well, there's America, and then there's America. You know what I mean? There's America and there's America.
I do love it over there, man. But you know what? Because it's so big, you don't actually see. When you go there, everybody's mint. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, because the country's so big and they've got so many people there, you always see these pockets of craziness. When you're actually there in New York, everybody's mint. You know what I mean? Even though, like, it's twice the size of London in capacity, probably 3 times more. I think it's 22 million people live there in New York. It doesn't feel as though, it doesn't feel as busy as London. Do you know what I mean? And I go in peak time sometimes. You just don't, like the tubes are not as busy as the London tubes, even though there's more people. It's mental how they get away with it. And I think it's a similar size. So God knows how it works over there, but it's the best city in the world, New York. And go on it right for yonks, man. I got told off for going on about it the other day with Gav, because he was like, mate, just stop talking about New York. I was like, I can't, mate, it's mint. Every time you've got a program comes on about New York, I just want to talk about it. Do you know what I mean? I did this geeky thing where last time I went on this, went and just looked at loads of film locations on my own. I couldn't have done that if it was a set of lads, but I went to like As Good As It Gets, and obviously where the Joker on the steps, and you know what I mean? I'm a proper geek like that. But yeah, I love it. You go back, it's a bit like Glastonbury in the way that you go back and every time it's different. It's just crazy. Yeah, best place on earth, mate, by a mile. That and Sydney and Leeds, obviously. Yeah,
I'd put Melbourne over Sydney, but other than that, yeah, Leeds and NY. But brother,
yeah,
that reached the end of time at talk, mate. We've rattled on for a good 55 minutes. Epic.
I didn't realise. Yeah, it was good, mate. Really, thanks for having us. And yeah, I mean, hope it goes well. What's your next one? I'll tune in. Actually, I'm going to go to shop first. I'm starving.
Next is Craig Crouchman. So he's a videographer. He does our IBE videos. So he's going to be discussing like setting up your own business basically, and how to develop your own skills. Because video, that's another thing which, again, for Pop Cult Sheet, which if we strengthen our side, which I'll bell you later anyway, because I've got there's some good development with that. But yeah, as soon as we're able to create these videos, then we've got the world there. So yeah. I'm going to sort of tap into some information and some pointers from him as well, and just to chat about his life.
Yeah, man, do it. Yeah, we'll give us a shout afterwards, mate, after you finished.
I'll bell you tomorrow. Now it just feels like it's a call now.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Right, cheers. Yeah,
respect, Chadders. Peace.
Yes,
right. There you are. That was Rob Chadwick, a.k.a. Chadders. And yeah, obviously a lot of people watching in the chat know him, but I wanted to give a bit more of a background into his career, his path, and how he got into it. Because he does do so, even though he's a proper sly one, he's under the radar, you know. Like, I know he likes to give this looseness about him, but he's one of the most astute, screwed on people, especially when it comes to like his business acronym and what he wants to achieve. And his work rate is something that I'm really inspired by, and how he manages to juggle so many different operations. So it was good to have a bit of a chat, a bit more on that side of his life. So yeah, thank you everybody. This is Loose Lips. I'm Ben Random, and I will be back in 3 minutes. Got quick time for a toilet break. In 3 minutes to be speaking with Craig Crouchman, so feel free to join me for that. And also, if you want to check any of my other chats, so I've been doing this now for about I think this is the 4th week. So there's over 30 chats with the likes of Paul Foot and Chappers, wide range of people. What I want to do is celebrate the different stories of people from all walks of life to raise some optimism for everybody that's watching. So go check them out. Put Pop Cult Chic into YouTube and you'll see the back catalogue of all my interviews. Other than that, peace and light to you and yours. Yeah.